What's up, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about The Northman. The movie was co-written and directed by Robert Eggers, who started off his career with The Witch, followed by The Lighthouse, two horror films by A24, which were fantastic. The film is also written by an Icelandic author who I can't happen to pronounce his name, but let's just say that he worked on the movie Lamb that came out from A24 last year, and I still need to check that one out. The film stars Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Claes Bang, Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe, and Ethan Hawke as we follow a young Viking prince on quest for his father's murder. Now, if I have to compare this movie to anything, I would probably say it's like Hamlet meets Conan the Barbarian with a dash of The Revenant. Now, when it comes to Robert Eggers being in the director's chair, the man is an absolute genius. I love that he manages to expand on the scope of his filmmaking methods and still maintain his signature style. Looking back on his first two films, which were The Witch and The Lighthouse, yeah, they were more of indie horror films, whether we be focusing in on something a little comical or something psychological. Just everything he displays on screen is just so authentic and real. And I feel like when it comes to the story and our characters with the dialect and maybe what they're wearing as costumes in the time period of its place, it just feels like I'm being transported to a much different atmosphere. We get to see that same type of skill, that same type of execution, love, and care towards a filmmaking of a story this size, this scale. I mean, if that's not devotion, even the director was consulting with various authors and archaeologists to get things very accurate to like locations and the dialect, what they were wearing, the things that were built at the time. It just felt so real. It was amazing to see what was on screen and just some of the things that they were talking about. Even a lot of the rituals and practices that they were doing just felt so immersive. And just like any Eggers movie, I'm definitely going to have to watch this movie again with subtitles because just some of the way that they would talk, like whether it would be with an accent or just some of the extra meaning, it felt like I was watching Shakespeare. It is kind of funny that I did bring up William Shakespeare and Hamlet earlier because The Northman is loosely based off a story called Amleth, and by all means, Amleth is the name of our main character played by Alexander Skarsgård in the movie, and this was written by Saxo Grammaticus back in the 1200s, and apparently, no sources confirmed, but it seems to me that Amleth inspired Hamlet. It's basically the same story, but I'll let you guys dissect that information. I love the set locations in this movie, especially when you get to see a beautiful backdrop of like Scotland, Iceland, and Norway. With breathtaking cinematography, I absolutely love the costume design, and what really went well with that was like a lot of the special effects and a lot of the visuals as well, especially when it came to really characterizing our main characters, or whether it be like dead people or Norse gods. Like a lot of the things that wowed me here, I almost wish I got that from The Green Knight, but I'll take The Northman any day of the week. Even the brutal acts of violence and just disturbing rituals felt so visceral without being completely graphic throughout the entire film. And with that being said, everybody was great in this movie. This is probably my favorite role of Alexander Skarsgård. He really gives it his all. He really just unleashes like the full-on beast of the Northman. And Anya Taylor-Joy, she is just no stranger to be working under Eggers' direction. She was wonderful in The Witch and various projects, and she's even brilliant here, even though her part isn't so big. And speaking of smaller roles, we didn't need to cast someone like Nicole Kidman or Ethan Hawke or Willem Dafoe for these kind of roles that were just very minor to the story, but at the same time, they work so well with what they're given that it is just so brilliant, so wonderfully executed. I loved it. And the way that this movie was being advertised, I thought it was going to be a balls-to-the-wall John Wick style type of movie, but no, it was a different kind of revenge story, something that is also kind of familiar and at the same time very refreshing, and I thought it was really impressive that they didn't show that in the trailer at all, and the way they executed it and the way it goes about just really leaves a lot for the audience to experience, and it is quite unique. I also kind of found it funny that my girlfriend was just fangirling over Alexander Skarsgård, and I was fanboying over Anya Taylor-Joy. Like, both characters, both actors were just dripping in sex appeal. A lot of the animalistic and disturbing behavior, practices, and rituals might alienate a lot of mainstream audiences. To me, I thought it really thickened the atmosphere, really added a lot of depth to just what was going on at the time, what our characters were going through, and just how things are in different cultures. So, to me, I just thought it was just perfect. Some people in my theater were just laughing, and they thought it was a little unoriginal and just weird, but I like that kind of stuff. I like it when it's just bizarre and just totally, again, not of our time. Honestly, I don't have any gripes about this movie. If anything, I would have loved that ending fight scene to be a lot longer, but I mean, that would have just been reaching so much Hollywood territory that I was just fine with what I got as far as tropes go, as far as original storytelling, and also influences from various stories of revenge and just the Norse gods. Alright, guys, that's all I got to say about that movie. Guys, go check out The Northman in theaters with like the biggest sound system and the biggest screen that you could see it on. Trust me, it's worth the experience. And once again, I am Jaren Ugbanawag. Look forward to more reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the movies. Take care.